I want to talk about The Bear. This show is brilliant. The cinematography is excellent. The acting has been amazing. I mean, all the reviews are in. We know it's great, and we are excited for this new season that's just come out. But I want to talk about how this show is capturing something generationally, something culturally. It's tapping into something that seems to be churning, especially in this millennial Gen Z moment. And if we can get into this, we can understand more of the parable that it's trying to teach us, and both where the show is pointing to something beyond itself, but inevitably feels all of this pressure of this cultural moment that we find ourselves in. So obviously, if you've seen The Bear at all, you know that the show centers around Carmi, the chef with Michelin training, who is excellent but broken. And I think there's something about this picture that is capturing the imagination of a generation that was told we could all be whoever we wanted to be. And yet, in our own pursuits of excellence, we find that it is our dysfunction, our brokenness that actually lingers. It's like hands holding us down, gripping, pulling, distracting, dismaying. Carmi is the epitome of what we all think we could be. Like, if we were given enough of our own training, if we were given enough of our own runway, if we maybe just had enough whatever education, time, support, encouragement, we are all Michelin star trained chefs. And yet, in that sense of hopeful potential and trajectory, each of us feel how our own dysfunctions are the sort of lingering ghosts that haunt the excellence we hope to achieve. So what I think The Bear is really tapping into for us is ambition, restlessness, and burnout. How we, in our generation, were told that we could and should chase our dreams and callings, but how we, in our own interior lives and resources, we don't actually have the resources to address the needs and the problems that we see all around us. So let's dive a little bit deeper into what The Bear is doing and how it's doing this for us. Okay, so one of the first things that I think The Bear really does well is captures the freneticness that excellence requires. So like all of us who have gotten in, especially to the workforce, but even who have just navigated classes, course loads, high school, college, sports teams, hobbies, activities, video games online, there is a freneticness right now to our lives that is almost overwhelming. I think it feels like one of the reasons The Bear really pops as a show is that it taps into that freneticness which is required to pursue excellence. I mean, you saw it in these early scenes in the first season where Carmi is like chopping with precision, and you feel this thrill that he is capable. His skills are capable of keeping up with the freneticness of life. Every episode sizzles with this frenetic pace of energy and action and connection. And I think one of the things going on here is what Hartmut Rosa calls social acceleration. There is an increasing reality to our technology, which keeps growing, to our consumption, which keeps expanding, to our culture, which keeps moving faster and faster, cycling through news and information, and now artificial intelligence more than ever before. We need honest reflections of freneticness, and we resonate with the show that tells us to be excellent, you have to be frenetic. You have to almost try to navigate this culture like the team tries to navigate one of these kitchens. I think when we look at The Bear's resonance with this Yes Chef moment, I mean, I love it. It is amazing. All of the commentary and comedy around Yes Chef is absolutely deserved. Yes Chef is this sense of response that's like, if we're going to navigate the freneticness of our cultural moment, there has to be a structure. There's got to be some sort of hierarchy. I mean, even for those of us who were deeply embedded in this encouragement to be whoever we want to be, we sense that when a supervisor, when a manager, a boss, a CEO, a president, when somebody with authority steps onto the scene, we will listen, we will respond. Like, freneticness requires a snap to attention that we long to be responsive to, but maybe for some of us in our ambition that we also long to command. However, the challenge with freneticness is, of course, the burnout that is possible. So like all of us sense as we're moving through our jobs, our cultures, our just like the needs of those people around us, are the needs that we ourselves are trying to manage. There's this stronger language than ever before that all of us are going to burn out. And there is this hovering sensation as you watch The Bear that you know this frenetic pace can't last. I think that's one of the hauntings of our cultural moment. Freneticism will eventually burn itself out. It's like a fire. It is consuming fuel. And so in The Bear, what you get is this beautiful intersection of implosions that take place between characters who already are sitting on heaps of dysfunction, which we of course resonate with. And in their dysfunction, they are colliding with other characters at frenetic pace. And the explosions are firework worthy of just entertainment most of the time, but also under the surface, which The Bear captures quite well, of grief, of this lingering sadness. Because here's the question that The Bear feels like it's asking me, at least, and it's probably asking you, like, is there grief under the frenetic pace? Is there a sense that your freneticism is actually trying to escape something just as much as it's trying to run towards something? I watched as a generation with me, millennials, coming into age as Twitter was on the scene, as social media was starting to explode, as we were all able to start sharing needs, thoughts, vision, dreams more powerfully than ever before. It all felt like we had dreams we were running towards. But what most of us didn't acknowledge is that there were ghosts we were running from as well. So some of what The Bear does beautifully, especially with its cutbacks, its narrative sequences, its surprises where it brings characters back later in the show that we had almost forgotten were lingering there on the surface of the character's imagination. It's reminding us that our freneticism is not just running towards something, it's actually trying to run away from something as well. We sense in this frenetic pace, in this frenetic culture, that if we cannot stop, like if we can't find something that requires us to stop it, at a couple moments in the show, failures in the kitchen cause a grind to a halt, right? Deaths cause a grind to a halt. They also create new opportunities. If we cannot pay attention to these grinding failures, if we cannot open ourselves up to the catastrophes that are waiting for us when we run at these frenetic paces, we will never be able to avoid the burnout that feels like it is inevitable or the combustions that are going to explode. I'm excited to see some of what The Bear is teasing out and wrestling with. It reminds me a little bit of Ted Lasso with this. There is a teetering sense that, like, for all of the dreaming of Ted Lasso's believe, there's a teetering sense of failure lingering over the whole project. Like some of what we're discovering generationally, some of what we're discovering in a post-Obama era of politics is that all of the hope, all of the change, all of the optimism, all of the sense of progress has actually caved in on itself. Like it turned out to have many good pieces. There were many good dreams we were all trying to dream. Like Carmi is trained as a Michelin star chef, and yet the restaurant itself, the dream of this perfected, well-oiled, frenetically at-pace machine is teetering. It's teetering. Many of our dreams, if we're being honest, if you are anywhere close to my age in your 30s, or maybe you're feeling this in your 20s or 40s or beyond, we are teetering. We are teetering, and I sense that The Bear, if it could be more direct, is inviting us to consider, like, what will it cost to keep going at this frenetic pace? How much longer can you run from the dysfunctions, from the ghosts, from the pressures that you feel? Is this going to collapse? Or will there be something that can emerge from this if only you can slow down and face the disruptions when they come to you? Here's my final thought about The Bear. I think The Bear is one of those shows that come around. I'm not saying it's the show of our generation. I just think it's yet another excellent character study on freneticism and grief in a culture that is moving way too fast. I think if we as Christians were to step into The Bear, what Augustine specifically, one of my heroes and mentors in the faith, would note about Carmi is that he is struggling with restlessness. He is experiencing the restlessness that says, even if you achieve your dream, even if your ambitions could be realized, will it bring you the peace that you are longing for? I find one of the most fascinating narrative turns of The Bear to be the moment near the end of the first season when all of a sudden things come together, new resources are found, and all of a sudden what should never have been possible before is suddenly possible. This to me strikes me as a fantasy. which is great. Stories often dabble in the realm of fantasy, but it strikes me almost more as a parable. It's like this invitation to ask you, if you could achieve your dreams, if you could succeed in your ambitions, like if the thing you felt called to do were to all align and come together, could you be happy? Like, would you be happy? Or would the restless churn still exist deep down inside? Augustine's whole invitation around restlessness is to invite us to consider our restlessness is meant to point us to God, is meant to ask us, like only God could invite us into the rest needed to navigate a restless age. Only God could invite us into the rest needed to navigate a restless age. And so when watching The Bear, I think one of the things I'm noticing in myself that I encourage you to note as well is like, where does the restlessness churn in you? I had a friend I was talking to who literally said to me, I feel like Carmi. I feel like I am over-gifted, over-qualified, over-dreamed, and now I'm just trying to assemble this ragtag team of people around me with yes chefs to get as far as I can in my ambition. Is your ambition going to be the thing that resolves your restlessness? Or is there a way for you to find a new pace? Or if not even a new pace, is there a way for you to face into the disruptions? Like, is there something trying to disrupt you right now? Is there a loss? Is there a grief? Is there a death? Is there a way to actually say yes to the invitation to slow down and stop running towards and to instead face what you're running from? These are some of the places that God wants to meet us most powerfully in the world. And I think The Bear has been a brilliant invitation to consider how we might need to face our restlessness so that we can finally ask if God has some kind of better rest to be found. May you come to face your restlessness, and may you hear God's invitation, even in the midst of your ambition, the pressures of your calling, the tensions of burnout that are right there alongside you. May you pause to listen for a word of rest that only God can provide. This has been The Burning Word. Grace and peace.